Audubon 2456.
It is episode 5 of State of the Save. I am very nervous about doing this because last time I was trying to they tried to kick me off the show, what they tried to do. But we're going to start anyway. Starting off with our troublemaker, Nick. What have you been up to, Nick?
Not much, man. What you been up to?
See, I'm very suspicious of you because you're all calm and collective now. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like there's a knife like 6 inches off the back of my neck. Michael, tell me, how are you doing, Michael? Are you better than Nick?
Vive la revolution?
See, that's not what I wanted to hear. I really was thinking about that a lot after that show. I was like, 4 episodes is all I made before I've irritated all of my co-hosts. I want to start off today with a story. Y'all want to hear a story?
I like stories.
Sure.
Okay, so I had to go pick up something. My wife bought something off Facebook Marketplace. That's way out there in the boondocks outside the city I live in. And so as I was traveling, I had some time to myself. It was a long drive. I came across one of those things that's like, stop here, historical monument stuff. You know, you see those sometimes on the road. It's, blah, 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 walk through here back in 1800. So I was like, I'm going to stop and I'm going to look at this little monument. Because I was thinking on the way out there how in like open world video games and stuff, you just stop and do things on the side of the road. It's just, a thing you do in open world games. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing that those games do not tell you about very well. It's very melodramatic, and also it feels very weird to be by yourself just trudging down a little path to go look at a monument. So today I learned that video games lie to you, and they do not tell you how to live your life. Tell me, Nick, what has video games taught you?
I don't know. Not a lot.
You kind of sprung that on us out of nowhere.
That was the plan. I was hoping that like this was this moment where you would just like, oh, video games have made me a better person, or video games have made me a worse person. Instead, I was just really hoping this would go somewhere, but it's not going anywhere, is it?
No.
Okay, let's
Much
go ahead.
like your travels to that monument.
Okay. It was very boring. It just said like it's like a bunch of guys walked through there in the 1800s. It was very depressing.
Was there any cool collectible there?
No, I looked around for like a coffee thermos or something. I didn't find anything.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, I know. What a shame. Boy, this is starting off really well, isn't it? Let's go around the horn. Let's talk about some video games. Something a little bit more exciting about me driving around the boondocks. Michael, tell me what's going on.
I'd like to introduce a new segment on the show.
Okay, that sounds like something the host would do.
Well,
Mutiny.
Yes, exactly. Michael bought another classic video game collection.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is this like a Facebook Marketplace buy, or did you go out and like buy them individually?
It was on sale. It was the collection of Mana for the Nintendo Switch. It is the Seiken Densetsu series that came out in Japan, but we know them as Final Fantasy Adventure, Secret of Mana, and then Trials of Mana, which never came out in America until last year because there is so much dialogue they could not fit it on the original Super Nintendo cartridge.
Okay, so is this well translated dialogue?
Yes, it is very well translated, even more so than a lot of the other like Super Nintendo games, because you think of Super Nintendo RPGs, you think of like rough translation. I haven't seen really any of that in Trials of Mana, which is really most of what I've been playing. Secret of Mana, I popped in for a little bit and it's kind of cool, but my main problem is the combat system in the original Secret of Mana is very... Stun locking seems to be the main mechanic of combat. Like, you want to stun lock enemies, and enemies will stun lock you. So, that's not what I call fun.
I'm about to say, I'm going to go ahead and stop you right there. That seems like the least fun way to do combat.
Does it?
Yeah, because I don't...
Just out of curiosity, how many buttons do you have to hold down to pull that off at the same time?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of an insight into how this episode's going to go. Michael, I'm going to get back to you in a second, but let's go ahead and warn the audience.
I get yelled at for inside baseball.
Okay, as the host, I'm going to go ahead and say I can play Inside Baseball right now. This is probably going to be an explicit episode just because, A, there's some explicit stuff in this here Metal Gear game. Second of all, Nick came in, and the first words out of his mouth to me were, "This is going to be explicit. You know that, right?" And he's been bowling over, sitting there in the corner. So, Michael, let's get back to our regular scheduled talk about some video games, but there's a bomb a-coming, boys and girls. There's a bomb a-coming. So tell us more about Secret of Mana as Nick sits there and fumes.
So yes, I like Secret of Mana. I want to dive more into it, but after playing a little bit and getting a little bit frustrated with the combat, I went on to Trials of Mana, the game that never came out over here. And that game is super ambitious. Like, it's a shame we never got it over here. Because right away, you're given 6 characters to choose from. Like, to choose as your main character. And then you choose 2 of those characters as your side companions that you want for the story.
Does the other characters ever, like, show back up?
Yes. They show up and they have their own stories going on during that. Although your story, everybody has their own personal reason for doing this adventure. So when you have your own, you play through like Dragon Age Origins, you play through your origin story before you're kind of thrust onto this adventure. And then when you pick up your 2 companions, they give kind of like a recap of their Dragon Age Origins origin story that you would play through if you picked them as your lead character. But the other 3 characters I saw in the world, and they're like, they have their own stuff going on.
So it's kind of like a situation where, hey, just because we didn't get picked to be the main character doesn't mean that our adventure didn't happen.
I ran into all 3 of the others, and the supposed quote-unquote lead character, the guy at the very front of the box art, he shows up a lot in that story so far. Like, he's doing his own thing, but when you cross paths with him, he's like, "Oh, hey, can you help me out with this thing real quick?" So
well,
you're like, "Okay, sure."
He's on the box. He has to be.
Well, they're all on the box, but he's the front and most and center. He's your balanced warrior type character. I'm playing as the rogue type named Hawkeye, who's a thief.
Marvel Comics would like to talk to these guys about the possible copyright infringement on the words Hawkeye.
It's not.
When has Japan ever really cared about copyright infringement, especially in the 80s?
Well, he does have a bow and arrow. He has like dual daggers type thing. So he's more Ronin than Hawkeye, if we want to get full comics about it.
Okay,
but
well, I appreciate the fact that you're like defending.
But yeah, if you are very interested in this type of game, I believe it's still on sale on the Nintendo Switch eShop for about $20. You get 3 games, and Trials of Mana is worth it, in my opinion, because it's a super ambitious game for the time. But if you just want to play Trials of Mana, they did do a full-on remake of that game, which released this year, full 3D. I don't know how similar it is and how much has changed, but if you just want to check out the story, that might be the way to go.
I think if I ever tried to pick this up, that would probably be the way that I go. I have a hard time going back to like old school RPGs and things like that. Mm-hmm. It's such a time commitment, and you don't want to be fiddling with old school jank for 50 hours. At least I don't. Like, I always respect people who can go back and play those. It's just something for me. It's like, if I'm going to put this much time into something, I need a little bit of the modern day style and finesse.
Yep.
Okay.
And the second game I've been playing...
You guys can't see him, but he's just fuming. I mean...
Drinking his monster over there, just buying his time.
Yep. Trying to come down from the high blood pressure that I already have.
And then, yeah, the second game I've been playing, SuperHot Mind Control Deletes, which was free for anybody who bought the original SuperHot back in the day. But when I mean back in the day, I mean back like before this game came out. So you could have bought it up until July 16th or something and have gotten this for free. But it is... They turned SuperHot into like a series of roguelikes where each level you have like 10 randomized SuperHot stages to go through. And every like couple levels you get an upgrade, which is like you start the level with the katana, or if you have the katana you can slice a bullet back at an enemy. Stuff like that. So
Okay, I'm going to end up playing this because I really like SuperHot. The idea of it being a roguelike kind of style kind of bothers me because, to be honest with you, you could just give me more levels of SuperHot and I would be happy.
I felt that way too, but as someone who, that wanting more SuperHot is actually very much tied into the game's narrative. Like, it doesn't say start, it says more. So you hit the button and it's like, you want more SuperHot. There is no more SuperHot. You beat SuperHot. You won. So that's kind of like the story. So it's the computer is generating more and more SuperHot for you. So it's like, okay, you want more SuperHot? Here it is, infinite SuperHot. Go crazy.
That sounds like a developer who was getting a lot of Twitter DMs. Like, hey man, when's you gonna get some more of that SuperHot out here?
You're probably not wrong, but I really dig it. As someone who played SuperHot to completion and spent a lot of time in the endless mode in that game, this is like they took the endless mode of SuperHot and stretched it out into a full game, and I really dig it. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but if the idea of like playing randomized SuperHot sounds kind of cool, this is what I would recommend. But I gotta also throw out, I got this game for free because I bought SuperHot back in 2016. I don't know if it would be worth paying the $25 asking price for it. This would probably be worth getting on a sale for like $10 to $15, I would say. But as someone who could just got it for free, this game's awesome.
Isn't the old SuperHot was like $20 when it came out, right?
25.
Okay, I was, for some reason I didn't remember. I thought that was like a $10 game.
This was Mind Control Delete was going to be made as a free expansion, but it got so big that they spent the past 3 years of development on it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so they were like, we wanted something kind of small, but we ended up with something that will take you about 4 times as long as the original SuperHot to complete.
Huh.
So it's
Nick,
really cool.
Nick, I know you play a lot of like VR stuff. Did you ever play SuperHot in VR?
So I did. I don't know if the version that I got was like the patch on Steam was just broken. Because I did have to roll back one of the patches to an earlier release. It just didn't feel as like natural and fluid as you would kind of want it to. Especially since like that's the first game that I bought for like to play in VR. And I can't remember another Robo Recall, which is like a Epic Games release. Playing those back to back is just kind of like one of those things where it was like the Robo Recall is almost like so arcadey and like it just feels natural to where like you had to do things very specifically. So like it's not as natural to throw the gun in SuperHot in VR, which is like half of that game. Like when you're out of bullets, a viable solution is to throw the weapon. Like,
yeah.
So it's just like little things like that. They're almost like so imperative to that game. To have those not included is kind of, and they are included, but it's just really hard to pull off.
It kind of threw me off because when I looked at the product description for the new SuperHot, it says it's the third entry. And I didn't take into consideration that they considered the VR to be a separate entry, apparently.
Yeah. So it is like a different game. It's not just like the first release in VR. It kind of reverse engineers the story. So if I'm not mistaken, you are playing as the people who made the simulation or whatever the program. So there's like a different story, and it's almost like you're in reverse. So like you're playing the same levels, but you're starting off in different areas and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Okay. I mean...
And people apparently love that game. Like, people who play VR love SuperHot VR.
Everybody who tries to sell me on VR, it's always like, oh man, you can play SuperHot in VR. So, like, I just wanted to kind of know. Michael, anything else?
That's pretty much it for me.
Nick, what have you been playing that is not Metal Gear Solid 3?
To be 100% honest with you, I haven't been playing a ton lately. Been kind of busy, but I have been playing a little bit of League of Legends and some Pokemon Go.
So, I'm gonna let you sit there because I we know what's coming.
Right.
I got a Switch, which is pretty cool.
Yay!
Yeah, I got one, and I've been playing just a bunch of indie games because
Nice.
that's what I do on that Switch. I got Curse of the Moon 2, which just came out not very long ago. I was a big fan of the first one. I think I talked about that on the last episode. This one is another one of those, and boy, is it pretty good. It's still the same kind of thing. It's like a NES Castlevania style. You go through the opening levels, and each level for the first 4 or 5 levels, you get a new character that you can play with and use, and they all have different styles and abilities. It's more of that, but to be honest with you, that's all I want from this game.
Is that one of those, like, this is a modern game designed to appeal to this certain genre?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
hey, it's 2020, but you want to play like a cool old school NES game. It's that kind of style.
Yeah.
I want to say these are from the same people who did Blaster Master Zero, in that they're like, hey, we're just gonna make another Blaster Master. You guys okay with that? Cool. So that seems to be that studio shtick, and they seem to have a really good time making those types of games.
And to be honest with you, I mean, it's still well designed. It's designed like a modern game. Like it's a lot more fairer than those old games are. Like because I've been playing some Super Nintendo games on there also, because there's the whole emulator thing. And like you go back to like Donkey Kong Country, which is a game that like I played a lot as a kid. I had a VHS tape that gave you tricks and stuff and tips and stuff like that. You know, all those things about Donkey Kong Country. Don't know why I had a VHS tape to do that, but I had one. But those games have a lot of like kind of cheap ways to kill you, and just it's a frustrating experience at times. This game is very much like it sets the rules. Here's the rules. Good luck. It's difficult without that. Like, oh, I got robbed. You don't feel that way all the time on this game. It's really good. I suggest it. I think it's like $20 on Switch and $20 on everything else. Other than that, been playing a little bit of Thronebreaker. Thronebreaker.
Is that the...
That's the Witcher spinoff,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is basically Gwent, but
Go on.
like but it's a story mode. You go through, you manage resources, and all battles are done within like the Gwent system. It's pretty cool. I like the Witcher universe a lot. I'm reading those books right now. Boy, is this game frustrating at times. Sometimes you're in a situation where you can't win. Your cards are just not lining up the way you hope. But it's very cool. It's a good art style. It's it's a well thought out game. It's worth playing. It's on Game Pass. It's also on Switch. I might actually get it for Switch because it might be a game I enjoy more. Just sitting around playing in my bed.
In this game, if you just get kind of screwed in the way that your deck is dealt out to you. I've never played this. I've only played Gwent. I don't super like Gwent, but is it like, is there ramifications in the story? Like, do you just reload your checkpoint, just hope that you get it next time, or is there just like, okay, well, here's what happens because you didn't win this battle?
It's first of all, Michael was going to jump you when you said you didn't like Gwent.
I did not.
I saw him Twitch.
It's a lesser card game.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That's we're not going to dig into this.
Okay, you don't have to.
But no, it doesn't do like the story progression thing where like, hey, you didn't win this battle, so this was what happens. It doesn't do that.
Okay.
But it's a very forgiving save system.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, you lost. You want to go back to the main ward? We would just kind of count this as not happening.
Okay.
So it's not like frustrating where, like, especially for like some of the optional battles can be really difficult. So the game would just be like, hey, you can try it as many times as you want, and if you give up, you give up. You can come back to it later.
Okay.
Like it doesn't feel like it's super. Like you gotta bang your head against your wall here and hope for the best. Like it's gonna let you kind of back away and go play some other battle or someplace else. Try to get some better cards.
Gotcha. You build. This is a deck building game where you build your own, bring your own to the table.
You start off with a lot of cards and a decent deck. Like it goes ahead and gives you a pretty good amount. Also, as characters come and go, it will add those characters' cards to your deck. And if they
Gotcha.
leave in the story, they will leave your deck also.
Oh, okay.
And then optional content allows you to find new cards. There's parts where you can collect like parts of cards and then build a card basically. Okay. This is also not really a like it's not so far. I'm not really coming across like Geralt or anybody.
Gotcha.
It's referencing kind of events that I believe take place before the Witcher main story takes place. Like if that whole timeline's kind of weird, but like it's like referencing like Novigrad and their invasion of the north and things like that. But so if you're really into those stories, you're going to reference kingdoms and characters and stuff that you know. But so far I've not met Geralt, but he's on the title screen, so I imagine he shows up eventually.
They know what sells.
Yeah, they're
How
like,
do we
hey,
know
man,
this is a Witcher game?
put Geralt on there.
The
Put him
people
in a
love
bathtub.
Henry Cavill.
Don't you?
I mean, yes, but
Okay.
Didn't they make a mod for Witcher 3 that just made...
It does nothing else but just make his face look like
I mean,
Geralt.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's memorable.
It's a fine
handsome
quality
man.
face. He's a high quality looking man. So we're just kind of talking around something. We need to go ahead and talk about something. Michael, we need to talk about Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Snake Eater. Nick, would you like to start, or would you like us to get to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of up to you. I feel like mine can be... my feelings on this game could be summed up in probably 1 sentence.
Okay, let's go around the horn first. I'll start. Boy, this is a PS2 game.
Is that the
Boy.
excuse?
No, it's not an excuse. At ease, boy.
Gotcha.
You know
Just
what?
an
Let's go ahead and get Nick's
I got
out of the way. Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead and explain your feelings on this battle.
So it's been, I don't know, where are we at? This is 7:38. We started this at like 7 o'clock. Up until 6:45, I was playing this game, trying to get to where all the fine listeners and other comrades in this podcast have got to. This game is probably the worst fucking game I've ever played in my life.
oh no,
Yep.
no!
Michael's heart just fell into his legs.
I don't even feel bad for saying it.
Here's the thing. I ain't gonna lie. I said this on the last episode. I said Nick could come out of this being like, I love Metal Gear. Mm-hmm. Or he could come out of this being like, this was the biggest waste of time in my entire life. And now we know it was the latter.
I mean, it's actually worse than a waste of time because, like, you can find little patches of respite in, like, wasted time, like, if you just zone out. I actively hate this game. Actively. And I actually hate both of you a little bit more because you like this game. And I know it's irrational, but that's how I feel.
Okay, let's go ahead and... We're going to get through this game. We're all gonna buck up and we're going to get through this.
Yeah, we are.
I knew, like, here's the thing. I've known Nick long enough. I knew about, right when I saw him, I was like, oh, I know how this is going to go. And I didn't want to break it to Michael because I know Michael loves this game. And I like this game. I do like this game. Now, we're going to agree with some things that I'm sure are your complaints.
Probably.
But I think it's just what your tolerance is. But I didn't want to break it to Michael when I realized, I was like, Nick really hates this game.
I had that feeling.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and say what I'm gonna say. I like this game, despite the game itself. Like, the game actively does things to piss me off and to make me have a harder time enjoying it. But the absurdity of the game keeps me coming back. Like, every time it's like, hey man, let's have a stealth mission that starts off with someone riding a motorcycle up a wall. Yes. And then 5 minutes later being like, hey man, you can't make any noise. People will hear you. Like, that absurdity is what I love about this game. It's not the playing it part. Like, and Kojima doesn't really care about you playing his games. Like, he wants you to watch things. Like, he wants to make movies, and video games were just how he fell into it. But, Michael, I know this is one of your favorite games.
This is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
I play this every few years. This is my 4th time going through this game.
So, this is a tale of two cities, and somewhere in the
The
middle...
best of games, it's the worst of games.
And somewhere in the middle sits Eric. ready to moderate it all.
Oh, so it's like observation again.
No, I feel like observation. I feel like we're not making any friends with developers. I feel like if the guys from observation heard this one, they're going to be like, boy, we get off easy.
Hideo Kojima is no friend of mine.
Well, okay, I will put that as the tagline. That might be the new tagline. Hideo Kojima is no friend of
Just
mine.
every episode.
I will make us t-shirts. If you want a t-shirt that
I would not
says
wear that shirt.
Hideo Kojima is no friend of mine, I have a business that will allow you to do that. So I will put that in the podcast description.
Oh.
And actually, for Michael's sake, I'll make another one that says like Hideo Kojima is my homeboy, and like you can pick. We will sell these shirts. This is all legit.
We'll consider this a poll. If you like
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 3.
Like, listen, if you want these shirts, I will make them for you. Let's go ahead and start, because boy, the year is 1964, I believe. The game drops off with an airdrop, like a high altitude, like a helo jump.
The first
They
ever
call it
Halo
Halo.
jump is
Yeah.
done by Naked Snake.
Not Master Chief.
Yeah, well, halo jumps are real things.
That's come on, man.
They
You
are
just
real
lied to me.
things.
Tom
Okay.
Cruise did one for Mission Impossible 6.
He did it multiple
A
times.
real
I think he had
one?
to.
In real
Yeah.
life?
Yeah. So did the
What is a
cameraman
Halo
who had
jump?
to film that.
You just jump out of a plane?
No.
Yes.
Well,
That's it.
okay, let's break this down. Okay, this is how this is gonna go, boys and girls. A halo jump is like a high altitude jump that's basically done without like a normal military jump when you jump out of a plane in the military. And someone in the military is gonna correct me, but this is how I understand it. The chute's poured for you as you jump out the plane. There is some exceptions, but this is done at such a high altitude that you'll literally like. You notice at the beginning of it.
You have to pull the chute. Is that what you're saying?
No, like you have to bring your own air supply up there. You have
Oh.
to like you are so
it's
high
serious.
Because
yeah,
it's
you're-
literally low orbit. So
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
you're dropping from instead of going below radar, you're dropping from above radar.
Okay.
So it's a very high. In the game, it does show like it makes them like depressurize the cabin of the plane. He's wearing oxygen because that's why he's smoking around the oxygen, which is a bad idea. And the game's like, hey man, don't smoke. He would have blown them all up. Okay, I know he's supposed to be a freaking Billy Badass over here, but he would have blown them all up with that cigarette. But it's done from such a high altitude. You're wearing oxygen as you jump, and then usually there's like a device that tells you when you have to pull your chute, because if you pull it too early, it will literally rip the chute off your back because it's such a high jump. It's very, very complicated. They don't do them a lot. Tom Cruise did actually do one for Mission Impossible because he's like a real life superhero apparently. He does that to make up for being like 4'11". So game starts. I almost said Master Chief. We are introduced to Snake. My first note is Snake should not be smoking around a bunch of oxygen.
he throws it away in slow motion. What more do you want?
That's so much slow motion. When you do the drop, you're introduced to Major Tom, which is the first of many, many references to popular pop culture. Boy, does this game want you to know that it knows its movies and its music. Major Tom explains to you that, hey, this is a mission to recover a scientist that was originally, he escaped the Soviet Union across the Berlin Wall. Then the Cuban Missile Crisis happened, and apparently in the world of Metal Gear, the Cuban Missile Crisis was solved by them giving this guy back to the Soviets.
And now he
It's
wants to
funny that you
defect
say
again.
that because I know nothing about U.S. history, so in my head, this is all canon. This all happened in real life. I'm getting a history class right now.
Yeah, if you take Metal Gear as canon, boy, are you,
Oh, boy.
please do not ever be like, hey guys, you ever hear about like the Operation Fortress mission to rescue that scientist that they gave back after the Cuban? Like, yeah,
I wouldn't bring that up either because that was kind of like a blowout, you know?
yeah,
Kind of failed on that.
yeah, it was a failed mission, yeah. We're gonna just
It's a touchy subject.
Somewhere out there, someone's writing this down for like a history exam. Talk about this mission that went bad. We also are introduced to paramedic, first of many bad code names. Also, she is our like medical advisor for this mission. My fourth note down is, boy, do these people like to talk a lot. We do the drop. It's very dramatic. I think it takes 10 minutes to get to the ground. I didn't time it. And then once we are in the ground, I think there's another 10 to 15 minutes before we're allowed to move 10 feet.
There's a superhero landing that repeats 4 times from different angles.
Yes. Well, do you not want to repeat all your cool moments 4 times?
No.
Oh, okay. We're also introduced to the boss. The boss is So here's the thing: you can talk to the boss, and this is, I believe, something that tripped you up.
Not only that, but it's apparently highly recommended that you do.
We got a Discord message that just said, "Hey guys, does the game ever tell you how to do CQC?" In which Michael sent a very helpful video.
That was helpful. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
It was helpful.
But it was actually, you know what? No, never mind. Just keep going.
And I said, the game, you have to call the boss. You said, where was this stated? I said, it was not stated. You just have to know to call the boss.
Well, she tells you, call me if you need to go over the basics of CQC.
So everybody says, call me if you need me. Remember my little thing and write it down, and then go to the save menu, and it's all actually remembered for you. Call me if you want to hear some crappy, pointless banter that doesn't matter in this game.
So you've made this landing, right? This is gonna be a long day, boys and girls. You made this landing, and there is like 20 minutes of talking. There really is. And when you get to the boss, the problem with the boss, with trying to call her to learn about the CQC, is that she gives you like a first year philosophy student's opinion on war for like 30 minutes. And I don't care where you fall in on military conflicts and things like that. I don't care. But this thing is so... It's first year philosophy. I'm doing the jerk off motion here. It's what it is. For like 20 minutes where it's just somebody's thesis. And
today's good could be tomorrow's evil. Jack.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the worst part about that. You said that's on the call. You say you have to call to hear that?
No,
was in the...
You're
okay, I was about to
to
say,
listen to
because
that.
if that's on the call, they also make you listen to that while you're walking through the jungle.
No, that's beforehand. On the call is when she actually tells you how to fight people in close quarters combat.
Gotcha.
There's also a moment where Snake says, yeah, I'm a little bit rusty on CQC because I've been working with the Green Berets. The Green Berets are known for close quarters combat. It's their speciality. Like, that's what they do. And he's like, yeah, just because I'm with those Green Beret guys.
But we know from the Metal Gear verse that military operations are very ineffective. The best way to get things done is to send one guy by himself with no
guns.
equipment into
Or no
military...
training, apparently, if you're the main character.
Well, okay, so the boss...
It's the only way to get things done.
Okay, I gotta get us back on track here. The boss is the guy who trained Snake. Snake is he's the guy who's sent in for this mission. When you have no equipment, because their justification is that they don't want you to leave anything behind.
Plus,
that would lead back to the American, military, American government. That's actually kind of a thing in reality. There's acquire on-site operations where you go into countries and you acquire your equipment there. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, usually that means that you're just carrying equipment from that country. Like, he would just have Russian equipment. They wouldn't just send him in with like, hey man, good luck. Here's a pair of gloves so you don't get cold.
Well, the boss also says that this is his final mission, and his final mission focuses on survival, like using his survival instincts to...
Yeah, it's like his final, like, this is the true test of your warrior spirit or whatever.
He needs to find his emotion that he carries into battle.
I ain't gonna lie, I zoned out during the boss conversation. I usually try to focus very clearly. But when I wrote down, boy, is this first year philosophy, I just I zoned out. So we finally get to play the game after like 25 minutes.
Pretty brisk for a Metal Gear game, honestly.
Metal Gear 4 starts off with like a 45-minute video, so yeah.
That's if you don't listen to the briefings.
Yeah. So we're going in to acquire this scientist, get him back.
He wants to defect again. He already defected once, and then we gave him back, and he wants to defect again. This guy just can't...
Well, he didn't want to go back.
Yeah, he didn't want to go back.
But... We sent him back. Like, Major Tom, in particular, sends him back as like, hey, this is the only way to resolve the Cuban Missile Crisis. As we're going in to do this mission, obviously, it's a stealth mission, well... I would say this is a tutorial, except the game doesn't really teach you anything. Like, the game doesn't like, hey, man. Like, it shows you, like, here's how to climb a tree. But it doesn't do a lot of that modern...
Which is the most imperative skill in this game. Like, you don't really use anything else except for the tree climbing in this game.
Yeah, you're not doing anything else. As you continue down the path, you're moving through the woods/jungle, I guess jungle more. To the facility in which this scientist is being held. Not a lot happens here other than some stealth stuff. We'll talk about the controls for a second. There's some really weird stuff. Like, you cannot walk in a crouch in this game.
No.
Yeah, that's the part of this game I feel that's aged the worst for me.
Wow.
I see that face in it.
But the game allows you to get into a crouch position, but you just can't move. So a lot of times it's like, hey man, there's this small wall here. If I could crouch, I would just crouch. But the problem is also in the game is it constantly it doesn't allow you to control when it goes into first person. So you go into some grass, be in first person, not be able to see jack around you. And then have to get back up into like the crouch position to see, and then get spotted and get gunned down.
Yep.
I'm not going to defend the controls in this game. I'm not.
And
the crazy
It's a lot. It's muscle memory for me, all of these controls, but that's not an excuse for the game not explaining these to you at all.
Okay, Michael, when you first played this game,
yes.
Did you play it when it was pretty new?
I got Metal Gear Solid 2 was my first game in the series. And I got that when I got like a PS2 bundle. So it was kind of trial by fire. When I first played Metal Gear Solid 2, I played on very easy and just got killed over and over again, barely making it through. It was on like the second time playing it through just to like try to understand the story more. Because again, I played 2 first, so I didn't know what was happening at all.
So I'm sure you probably already said this like 3 times. When did this game come out originally?
2005.
This game came out in 2005.
I'm going to say this right here. Splinter Cell had a game out by this point, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, they had
and
like 2
Splinter
games
Cell,
out at this point.
Yeah, Pandora Tomorrow was out. That game did the stealth movement better than this game.
Okay.
And this, the version you're playing, and this is something Michael told me because I didn't even put this together, is actually an updated version
That's what I'm
of
getting.
this game.
Because originally the camera was above you,
You can't
making
see
this game
anybody.
almost like unplayable.
Well, so if it's in that state, does it switch back and forth between first person and that view?
Yes.
Well, okay, that's terrible then. I don't know. I was going to make some point, but nah.
Do the first person button and then the overhead view. This game, this remake gives you the choice. When you hit the right control stick, you have that option for that view. And having both, like the overhead angle does great for more interior environments, I feel like.
Because it was
you
designed.
can like also move that around and like.
Well, that angle was designed with the first and the second game in mind, which
Yeah.
was almost entirely small, close quarters inside buildings.
This was... They had to make a brand new engine for this game because the other engine didn't account for slopes.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is... Some could say...
Nick's face.
Some could say that it was a mistake that they did not take that into consideration. I would have never been able to beat this game or play this game at all if I didn't have at least a more modern camera.
That's how I beat this game the first time. I rented this game and played the Snake Eater version and beat it in like a weekend. But I was playing on very easy, and that was after playing like Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 1 over and over again. In fact, let me just like spell out why I love the insanity in this series. I didn't go from 2 back to 1. I went from 2 to the remake of 1, Twin Snakes, which is notorious for the most absurd cutscenes ever. Snake kicks a sniper rifle in the snow, catches it, spins, and does a 360 no-scope, like in the air. Snake, during a boss battle against a Harrier jet, jumps on a missile and then fires a missile.
There is a man in this game made of bees.
Yes!
Michael, this game does not get less crazy. This is way Metal Gear
This is why, that's the absurdity of it, is why I love Metal Gear so much.
Oh, okay.
Playing it is kind of... I was terrible my first time going through a Metal Gear game. That's no excuse. That is no excuse. But the people who say they love Metal Gear played these games probably... They make that their, like, tradition. Going through and, like, learning new CQC techniques to, like, take guards down. How to mess with guards and everything.
Only 2? Is there not just throw this dude on the ground or slit this dude's throat?
Well, no, you can point the knife at the guy and it'll tell you where his friends are.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. I've played...
buttons for that.
I've played me some Metal Gear, and I ran into situations, Nick, where I was holding a guy for a long period of time, trying my best to Google frantically, how do I interrogate this guy? So, like, this game does not do any of this well. There's no quick reference guide.
It's on the main menu, but you
outside
have to,
of the game.
Outside of the game, exactly.
Yep.
So you have to leave the game to go look at it. That is a very PS2 menu type thing. Again, I'm not defending the old nature of this game at all. What I'm defending is my personal love with this game, which is very a subjective thing.
It's a safe space here, Michael.
Yes.
We won't judge you for it. In the defense of the game, you would have had a manual.
Yep.
So the game is weirdly,
and
guess, running off the assumption that you could look at the manual.
And these games are very much tied to the manuals. If you remember, like, I'm going back to Metal Gear Solid 1 here, but Nick, there was a point where you can't progress until you look at the back of the CD case.
That's just DRM shit. There's nothing spectacular about that. That is DRM.
There is a point in that game also in which the character reads your memory card. And like, hey, I see you like Crash Bandicoot. And you have to, I believe, switch the controller inputs.
Otherwise, you can't hit him.
Or you get hit.
So that's cool. That's cool. I mean, I wouldn't say that he's reading your memory card, because if you have a PlayStation and, back in the day, you probably played Crash Bandicoot, but, whatever. That's cool.
On the GameCube, he was like, you played Super Smash Bros. Oh, you like Super Mario Sunshine.
This game also occasionally does that, where characters will just randomly be like, go to the start menu, Snake. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Would you like to save now?
Okay, we'll get to paramedic. Let's continue. We get to the facility, we stealth our way into the facility. We meet the professor, the scientist. We have a conversation. We're like, hey man, we're going to get you out of here. And then the Ocelot unit shows up.
Yes!
I remember Ocelot from the later games. Boy, is he a dork in this one.
Yes, it's wonderful. I love Ocelot.
His guys look like they're dressed like Boy Scouts, but just with ski masks.
They hype them up too. I was like, oh, this is the GRU unit. They left the Soviet Union because they think they can topple the Soviet Union, and they want to harness technology.
Well,
so they're basically Soviet Hydra.
You know what, those Spasnets? If you know what a Spasnet is, that's like the elite special forces for Russian military. Those guys get training where they're just like hit repeatedly in the stomach with a baseball bat. Like they're like hardcore dudes, and they play these guys as the biggest dorks in the world. But yeah, this is where you also get the information that this Colonel Volgin, or Thunderbolt, as he's referenced also. is leading this unit that's basically going to topple the Soviet Union. Gorbachev is in power at this point, who is, like he was in real life, moving the Soviet Union closer to more peaceful interactions with the United States. But they're basically going to overthrow him in this big coup. Ocelot shows up. We have, I believe, our first combat with the Ocelot unit. Do we fight
before
them?
you...
No, we don't.
Yeah, that's a cutscene.
Before you go into retrieve Sokolov, you have to take out... Is it regular members or is it GRU members out there at this point? Because you go to that area twice in this group. It's the second time GRU's there, right?
The first group that's out there when you go in to get the scientists...
It's just guys.
They're KGB.
Gotcha.
So they're like Russian loyalists, I guess, in this whole operation. And so they're taken out by the Ocelot unit when you arrive, and you're in this standoff where you're out there with Ocelot. This is where we learned that Ocelot's like a hotshot shooter, but his gun jams repeatedly because apparently he didn't learn that in his hotshot Spoznet training.
That's more of a revolver technique.
Yeah, now let's talk about that too. Like, he's flipping it around and he's doing all this stuff.
Did he do that? I did not catch him flipping the revolvers around and twisting his guns and stuff.
The passive aggressiveness.
Yeah, I think I just might have blinked whenever that happened.
This game really wants you to, and the sad thing is, I think the game thinks you're going to be like, man, this guy is cool. But I'm just watching him being like, this guy's a freaking dork.
Yep.
His guys are there. This is when I believe Volgor shows up, correct? Doesn't he show up at this point?
No, Volgan, he shows up when you're on the bridge with the boss. That's like the whole reveal thing.
So this is where the game doesn't allow you to actually fight the guys, but like Snake takes him out, basically. And he makes Ocelot look like a punk.
You knock Ocelot down. It's something really cool. You get an achievement for it on the 360 version. But if you kill Ocelot, the Colonel from Metal Gear Solid 1 will say, "You create a time paradox, Snake!"
Wait, whoa.
I didn't get to do any of this.
How did you kill Ocelot?
When he's laying on the ground after the cutscene where Snake just schools Ocelot in the GRU unit, Ocelot's laying down there with like the stars above his head, you can kill him there. Huh. And then, again, the Colonel from Metal Gear Solid 1 will be like, "You create a time paradox!"
Okay, that would have been cooler than what happened with me. I just walked away. So you walk away, you get the professor. You're going down, getting out of there, basically. You're going to do a, what's it called? Where you attach a balloon to somebody. A Fulton.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is something that's big in Metal Gear Solid 5. You're moving out, you get to the bridge, and there's the boss, correct?
Yes.
And this is our big reveal that the boss is actually turned and is gone traitor.
She's defected to the Soviet Union and the GRU.
And we get introduced to the GRU, and they're basically, hey, surprise everybody, these are going to be the bosses of the game. Each one of them are
the Cobra unit.
Yeah, they're former comrades of the boss from, I guess, World War II. There was some conversations about how the boss was like, the boss gave birth on the beaches of Normandy and all this kind of crazy stuff. Like, this is former comrades of hers that she's reuniting with. And she has provided as like her kind of, hey, this is proof that I'm legit. A bunch of tactical nukes from I think it's called a Davy Crockett.
The Davy Crockett.
Which is actually it's a real thing. Fun fact about the Davy Crockett. Not only was it a huge failure, the David Crockett had a range of like 5 miles, and the radiation range was significantly more than that. So if you shot the Davy Crockett, it would just irradiate the team that shot it.
Remember the Alamo, Eric. Remember the Alamo.
This was
That's what that was.
Yep.
Yeah. This is the game. Like, hey, it's a Davy Crockett. But, like, that thing was a piece of junk. Like, this was a bad time for the U.S. military and ideas. The boss gives you this big romantic speech, and then proceeds to kick your butt and throw you off a bridge.
That's a common theme in this game. Snake getting owned by the boss.
So obviously our mission has gone sideways. We also now see that the Soviets have what is basically a Metal Gear.
The Shadow Hog.
Yeah, it's a mobile nuclear launcher.
So that's what a Metal Gear is?
Kind of.
What is a Metal Gear?
Michael, tell me what a Metal Gear is.
A Metal Gear is a weaponized tank that has the capabilities of shooting nuclear warheads.
That's it?
Yep, that's what Metal Gear is.
Okay.
They are very impressed with this concept.
That's the first one, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
The Shadow Hog is like, we'll get into this, but it's more like a prototype for what will become Metal Gear.
Okay.
It's the proto Metal Gear.
Okay, so
Metal Gear.
You're playing this in order of timeline, but if you were playing this in order of the games, you would have seen the four, actual Metal Gear from Metal Gear 1 and 2. So like the game is like, hey man, this is the predecessor to that awesome thing you fought and dealt with in the first games.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal. Like, it goes back to like we're not going to go into Cold War nuclear strategy, but it's something that would be like a big threat.
Even though you can apparently just go ahead and nuke people in an airplane while you're driving by.
Yeah, you can't. Well, you can shoot it out of a helicopter, which is not how that works either. But
I mean, that dude did it in the game,
oh,
so it's just
I know.
like, if I can do it in a helicopter, why would I want to do it in a tank on the ground?
You're applying logic to this video game.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, that's your first mistake.
That's your first mistake.
Let's go ahead. Okay, so Snake's thrown off of the bridge. The Cobra unit take the scientists. They take off in their helicopter.
A bee-man steals Sokolov.
A bee-man does it.
A man made of bees just picks him up and then drags him onto the helicopter.
At this point, Vogan shoots the Davy Crockett at the research facility, nukes the crap out of that research facility. Snake is like within the fallout range, but fallout apparently does not matter in this video game. Snake is brought back. They rescue Snake. This is also down here. This is where they teach you how to do some like medical walk on yourself.
This might be the only real tutorial in the game where they're like, oh, let's teach you how to use the survival menu.
Well, like it's what order to do things in.
Can you heal in this game?
Huh?
Can you heal in this game?
Yes.
How?
You have to physically heal the injuries.
That restores health?
Yes.
No, yes.
Well, you regenerate health. If all of your injuries are quelled. Also, if you were stuck in the lake, you might have leeches.
Yeah, I got that. I
You
understand
burn
that.
the leeches? Okay.
But, so you regenerate health if all of your ailments are gone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
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 Like, there's a survival mechanic of this game that the game does not want to really explain to you. And mind you, I'm telling you this, I'm going to get to some points in this where I'm just going to look at Michael and be like, I don't know how I got past this. I just kind of brute forced it.
We're just talking about the Ocelot fight then?
No, I'm talking about a lot of things.
Okay.
This is the point where you're brought back. Basically, the U.S. government gets a message from Gorbachev saying, hey, you guys nuked our fancy nuclear weapons facility. U.S. government claims they don't know anything about that. I don't know what
terrible impersonations of world leaders.
Who is that?
That Lyndon B. Johnson sounds like Aldo Rain from Inglourious Bastards.
I was about to say I did not know that was Johnson.
Yeah.
Like I went and looked up who was president in 1964 because I was like, I'm pretty sure I know who it is, but I was sitting there, I was like, dadgummit, man, this Metal Gear, so who knows who it might be Robert Redford, all I freaking know for freaking Metal Gear universe. Be like the Watchmen stuff. But so I went and looked it up and made sure I was right.
It's real presidents until it's not real presidents.
Exactly.
That's how Metal Gear works.
That's why I didn't trust it. And basically he's like, you got to, clear your name at the same time you have to take out Vogan. That'll be your way to prevent the U.S. and the Soviet Union from going to war.
To prove that the U.S. was not involved, Snake has to kill the boss, his former mentor.
Yeah, it was basically like, why we gotta clean up this mess? And I thought it was weird that like Johnson's like, why is that our problem? Because it's your agent, dude. Like, I feel like Gorbachev's got a point there. He's like, yeah, man, this is your problem. Fix it. long story short, that kicks off the actual events of this game, in which we get the title sequence.
Hey guys, we're doing a James Bond, guys. Hey, it's a James Bond. Do you get the subtle references?
It was subtle.
You're not wrong, but this theme song is amazing.
Dude, listen.
It has lyrics about killing and using a tree frog to restore your energy.
It explains to you the game. It was like if we were playing Call of Duty and then Call of Duty had a theme song and it's like, hold left trigger, hit right trigger. It literally, like, it's weird. But it's kind of stylish. It looks cool. It does look cool.
I love this intro so much.
Okay, because you've played this game a lot, Michael.
Yes.
Is the stuff that's in there of, like, Snake shooting, like, an M60 in this game?
Yeah, if you wanted to be.
Okay.
If you're trying to play it like a stealth game, you probably shouldn't get on the M60 and hammer on the square button or the X button.
The stealth is out the window for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to speedrun this game.
I am playing through completely non-lethal. I haven't killed anyone yet, not even bosses.
Michael, I'm dropping everybody. Me and an AK all the way through.
This is the first time, because last time I played this game 2 years ago, I played it on hard. I wanted to go back to normal just to make sure I can get through this game, but I wanted to have like an additional challenge in there, so this is the first time I'm playing a completely non-lethal run in Metal Gear 3, and this is making me use a lot more clever tactics. I've only been like discovered like a handful of times.
Man, I can't.
But I haven't died to like I'm gonna sound like Eric with Alan Wake. I haven't died to an enemy yet. I've died drowning in mud, and crocodiles have eaten me like 3 times.
Crocodiles are a problem in
Yes!
this game.
I didn't even know that the crocodiles could eat you, but that's the first thing that happened to me. Is there's 45 minutes of like briefing for this mission, and the snake just walks into a quicksand and dies. Just
That's the canonical ending. We're doing all this prep. We have to make sure that Snake. Okay.
Okay. Snake is also like a beloved character. I once went to a Comic-Con in which a guy as Snake inside of a box roamed the entire con, harassing people for like an hour and a half, and before security kicked him out. Like,
It was amusing the first time, and then after the second time you see it, you're like, okay, dude.
He was like,
You
committed.
got your TikTok. You can kind of go.
Yeah, but screw him. But like, people love Snake, and I don't see it in this so far. Okay, we'll keep going. So we go in. No, like I said, Michael, I actually like playing this. I'm enjoying this. But we go back in. Basically, hey Snake. Okay, now your mission is to go. Not only are you trying to get this scientist back, but now you're going to have to kill the boss, and you're going to have to take out Vulcan, and you're going to have to stop that, and you're going to have to stop that mobile missile launcher. So Snake goes back in. This time via like a pod drop thing, which has a poster in there that you can stare at. That's just like a real life woman.
So this one's a ODST, which is is that a real thing too? ODST drops?
No.
Okay.
But I wish there were. There was a game we should have played.
Halo
ODST.
Metal Gear Solid 2.
No. ODST is a good game. But we drop
Not very
in.
hard to play, really, if you know how to use a controller.
Yeah. Oh boy, this is going to be a long 4 episodes. So we go in. First thing that happens is we'll go in now. We're back in the exact same spot we were before, but now we're moving to that same facility. We show up at our burning pod. And
Doesn't look like a nuke went off there at all.
No!
Just all the trees are there.
Everything is fine. There's no radiation.
Was that supposed to be the place that
Yes,
you shot?
we are going to the building that got hit by a nuke, and nothing
And it's
changed.
still standing.
It was the same.
I know. I'm with you on this.
Okay.
This is a badly. I was about to make a statement, but I ain't going to make it. You should
You know. It was real though. I got what you were saying, and it was.
Yeah, okay.
I agree
But
with you.
we get to this. We're going in, and we get back to like where our pod was. Like we do our paradrop. We now have weapons. You know, we're all prepped. We're ready to go.
You got a nice new gun? Oh, wait, no, you don't.
We have a tranquilizer gun. The boss shows up on a horse.
Yes.
She proceeds to kick our butt again.
Yep.
Snake just sits there like, okay, Snake has a weird relationship with the boss because it's considered like almost romantic and motherly at the same time. And like I sat there, I'm like, this is a subgenre of what this is. I don't feel
ahead of the times.
It was very ahead of the times, man. Who would have known? But like I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, man, Snake, okay. Are you okay? What has happened in your past? But the boss kicks her butt again. She's like, hey man, get out of here, kid. And blows up our pod with a M16 that's not got a stock, but got a dual barrel, like dual drum magazine thing.
The Patriot is the name of that gun.
That's an M16 with a double barrel. I mean, double, whatever. It's a fancy M16.
When you unlock that gun, it has unlimited ammo.
Okay, yeah.
So that explains.
That makes a lot of sense.
Which is a canonical thing in Metal Gear. Infinite ammo.
Okay.
Yeah, in Metal Gear 2, a character would just go, I have infinite ammo. And you're like, okay, cool.
Me too.
So the boss, after she beats the crap out of you, like, is another sequence where you have to heal up. And if you talk to paramedic, like, Snake's not even subtle. He's just like, hey, let's just throw some sexual references. How you doing? What do you want to do? It's like, Snake, you are in the middle of like a very time-sensitive mission. And it's just, Snake is not smooth. He's not smooth at all. And it's not fair that paramedic just lets him get away with it, because it teaches everybody, like, you can be like this. No, you can't. No one will ever respond to this kind of actions. You do some fixing up of yourself, and then you proceed to continue to stealth your way back to that same facility that we went to the first time. It's now at night. There's a bunch of other KGB guards. This is when I tried to get used to the gameplay. I actually started to get a little bit more better at it. There's a sequence in which you can, you're crossing that same bridge. That you're feeling kind of. I felt more comfortable at this point.
I still didn't know that close quarters combat was the thing in this game at this point. So
yeah, which is a problem because there's no. Yeah. I don't think you have a gun.
Yeah, you don't.
You have your tranquilizer because your main gun got
beat up. Yeah,
destroyed by the boss.
Tranquilizer's gun also only works if you hit him in the head. Really, like it takes time.
It takes time if you hit him anywhere else. The gun, the head, and the heart will instantly take them down.
Hitting him in the heart though is weird because the game doesn't do a great job of being like, "Where's the heart?" I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah, you're right.
Once we get back to that exact same facility we were just at, we meet our contact, who is members of two different people that are going by the names Adam and Eve, who are.
They are people who defected to the Soviet Union. They're the CIA code breakers, and they want to. I guess they feel bad about what they did, so they want to go back. I guess they were working as double agents.
There's a lot of another first year philosophy there, where she's like, "I saw the conflict is double-sided, the universe is double-sided." Yeah, more jerk off motion. Yeah, it's a lot of that. We see that Eva, she arrives.
She does not say the password.
No, she does not say the password. And Snake's just like, hey, you're hot enough to get away with it. Eva...
She does a cool motorcycle spin and takes out some soldiers. So I guess like, hey, you saved my life. I guess that's good enough for me.
Also, we've been told...
And then she unzips her shirt and Snake's like, this is really good enough for me. So...
We've been told this is a stealth operation. And she pulls up in the loudest motorcycle in the history of motorcycles.
Sound does not exist in cutscenes, Eric.
She shows up in this motorcycle. She does not say the password. Once she undoes her shirt, Snake's just like, holy crap, you're good, you are the best.
And then you can press RB to stare at her boobs.
You can press you can press RB to stare at her boobs.
That was my note that says, "Oh, Kojima." Actually, no, that was the second one where like Snake's waking up and then you can press it again.
Yeah, you can look at him. Yeah. Well, because you can hold your eyes like semi-open, and like, okay, here's the thing. I play this game. I'm sitting there playing it, and like I wanted to know if you hold it down and you just stare at her boobs long enough, does the game recognize like, hey, you parv, and like she slaps you or something? No, the game just lets you do it, and she's like okay with, because like if you go back to Snake, his eyes are just wide, staring straight down. Like the game's just like, hey, this is what we're gonna do for like
even if
5
you don't
minutes.
hit that button, he's just
You still get the glimpses.
You still
too.
get
that.
It still forces you to get like 2 glimpses of the boobies.
The game's like, hey man, you ain't trying to high road me. Not gonna high road me. Wow, yeah. And so she shows up. She's like, hey, I know where this professor is. I'm gonna help you get him. We're gonna rest here tonight, and then tomorrow morning we'll take off. She gives you a brand new 1911. 45 caliber 1911,
45 caliber 1911.
which
The grip is modified.
It sounds like
Just
yeah,
goes
everything
all
is
in on this
modified.
gun.
I'm gonna say this also. The 1911 is a really cool handgun. It's very old school.
According to
based.
Snake, it's the best handgun.
Well, okay, yeah. According to Eric, it is too. But like the fact that he spends so much time describing it, like it's perfectly done for my hand. How did they get those measurements? Like, Snake's acting like this is a custom gun for her, and she just pours it out of her cleavage and gives it to him. I'm like, I don't.
Where else are you going to keep a gun?
In a holster.
She's got enough space for it. So this is the point where, like, Snake's going to get some rest. He makes a statement like, hey, I don't know if I can trust you enough to sleep around you. And she's just like, oh, look at me. And he's like, okay, cool. And he goes to sleep. But you can hold your eyes open to look at her.
Mm-hmm.
It's really weird. Like this game,
He does something with the gun too, where he takes one of the plating off the side so he can hold the knife better, so he can do CQC combat while holding the gun. She's like, "What are you doing? I just gave you this nice thing." And he's like, "The boss taught me everything I know."
but like that makes no sense because the 1911 doesn't have a. Okay, whatever, man. Sure, he modifies the gun so he can hold his knife next to it.
It's kind of cool.
It's. No,
I will defend this game to my grave.
This is also the first time the game really promotes you to save, because you basically have to save to sleep because it teaches you that if you sleep you save, I guess. That's when you wake up and you can peek at Eva. Long story short, then Ocelot unit shows back up again.
They get owned again.
They get owned again.
Wonderful.
This time, Ocelot took Snake's advice. He went and got himself a revolver.
And Snake still tears him down, those engravings don't give you any tactical advantage.
Okay, well, there's a cool reference to that in 5.
Yes.
In 5, there's a moment where you show back up on the ore platform, and Ocelot's there teaching people how to do shooting, and the guy's doing fancy shooting tricks, and he straight up makes fun of him. He's like, "Don't you know that those engravings don't help you at all?"
It's
Just
literally the same dialogue lifted up again.
It was
such a good
cool,
moment.
but boy, it wasn't worth all of this for 15 years later for that. Ocelot grabs Eva. Once again, my note just says Ocelot sucks at guns still. He's flipping the gun around a bunch, but he
puts it in the holster wrong.
Yeah, he puts it in the holster wrong.
She does a high kick, knocks him down. She does a backflip onto her motorcycle, charges him with the motorcycle, does a backflip with the motorcycle
Up his body,
knocking his face, and then the knife she threw up earlier, because at one point she throws a knife for some reason, she just catches the knife after all that, and that was the point where I wrote down, this might be the best game ever made.
Also, before this, there is a fight with the Ocelot unit, because Eva bails out of a window or something. Is that before or after this?
No, she
yeah, this is
it's the under of that little house.
Yeah.
I can't think of the word, but yeah,
The
she
crawl
just
space.
the crawl space. Yeah.
Yeah, she goes in, and then you have a kind of showdown with Ocelot unit. I killed a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
There ain't no non-lethal with me, man. Everyone dies.
A lot of people did the sleep.
Yeah, nobody did the sleep with me. They did the permanent sleep with me. She takes off on her motorcycle to go be stealthy throughout the facility. She also gives you a rundown of kind of the path to where you're going. Hey, there was a cave, and then there's a swamp. She kind of tells you that stuff. And she's worried about them finding out that she's, been gone and that she's the traitor. You proceed to go off. This is kind of the first extended gameplay sequence. There's kind of some cool stuff here. I got bit by a cobra at one point.
Mm-hmm.
The game doesn't tell you at this point that you should be like killing animals to trap to eat, and that certain animals Snake likes to eat and some animals he doesn't.
He's got some calorie mates.
He's got calorie mates. Like, this is when the game, like, hey man, this is a game about survival too. And it does not, like, your point, Nick, that like, how do you, like, you asked us straight up, how do you gain health back? The game doesn't tell you, like, hey man, you need to also kind of hunt some of these animals. You need to
rebuild your stamina over time.
Yeah,
I mean, it mentions that part.
Because
it's all the that stuff it mentions. Like, this is how you heal or not heal yourself. They say this is how you cure your ailments, and then this is how you rebuild your stamina. But it doesn't ever say like, hey, you should probably try something other than shooting these people with these guns that you can aim, but we're also not going to tell you how to do that.
Okay, let's pause for the second about the gun aiming in this game. Is there a way that after I shoot a gun in first person, that he doesn't put the gun down?
Yes.
How?
When you're in first person mode, you hit the left stick and he'll draw the gun and have it out, and then you can hit X.
But then it will go away.
Yeah, you pull the trigger once.
Oh, you do?
Or it
goes
with
away.
the AK, you do like a 3-round burst and it's done.
Which is very frustrating in that boss fight coming up.
Yep.
Because you have to pop him one time. And like if you keep hitting the X button to shoot.
Do you does he have iframes? Because I didn't know that.
No.
Okay.
He just he'll keep shooting.
Okay.
But it's like it doesn't. It's like it doesn't register it as like staying up. So he'll shoot and he'll come down. He'll shoot pat 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 up and down up and down up and down. It's very weird. I thought something was wrong.
You have to use 3 button presses to aim.
Yes.
So you're literally just clenching the controller in 3 different places with your left hand, and then when you do aim, you have to switch your finger off the shoot button to aim, and then move it back to the shoot button.
Where's your shoot button?
X. Okay, so you have to aim with the right stick, yes?
Yeah.
I'm holding a controller.
You can aim with the left.
Here's the X.
You can aim with the left stick, I
Okay,
thought. Yeah, because you can't move in first person mode.
So maybe that's the secret.
So,
I've been making the same thing. I've been using the right stick.
Yeah, you can
to
aim with the left stick.
So I guess you're supposed to aim with the left stick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Michael, explain to me why the aiming's bad. Because
Make it make sense, Michael.
because like it feels like an obvious thing. Like I get that the game is a stealth game, and the game wants you to play stealthy. So I guess in some ways they're supposed to be like, "Hey, man, don't be shooting. You're not supposed to be shooting." But then you give me...
That's perfect. That's perfect. I'm 100% behind that. So once you send me this little thing in Discord that says, hey, you're supposed to walk up to dudes and knock them unconscious or stab them in the neck and they won't kill you and they won't alert their friends, I'm like, oh, this is this game. This is how I'm supposed to play this game. And then immediately, not 10 minutes later, I'm shoehorned into the crappiest boss fight I've ever played in my life, where they're like, oh, psych, dude, you're actually just doing a long-range gunfight with the worst aiming and gun control in any game I've ever played in my life.
This is my least favorite boss fight.
You cannot access him because he's across a ravine. You can't, even though there's a little tiny ledge on the left side. This is going to be in the red, Michael, so I apologize in the future.
I'm writing these down.
There's a little ledge that I've seen Snake jump over. Heights that size in the game. All like to this point, you can climb on top of boxes. Nope, you can't climb that ledge and walk across to choke slam this dude like you've been doing to everybody else in this game. You just have to sit there and wait for him to say, "Wait, I'm reloading. Don't shoot. No, not it. I'm reloading. Give me just 2 seconds."
Okay.
I love reloading in the middle of battle. This is intense.
Yep. This is exhilarating. Yep, I know all the lines because I've heard them. I'm not exaggerating when I say I spent 2 hours on this fight.
Oh my
2
gosh.
hours.
I'm just gonna bum rush through so we can get to that fight. So there is the moment where you stealth through a facility, which is kind of like an old school Metal Gear experience. There's a moment in which there's traps set up. Mm-hmm. I hit a trap. The trap smacked me with a log, and then I get a message from Eva like, "Hey, be careful of those traps." And I'm like, "Oh, you freaking jackass."
This is the point of the game where you have the most freedom to explore And the game really rewards you with exploring with like items. You can get like additional weapons that way. I found additional camos doing it that way.
Oh, would y'all like to talk about one particular camo?
Which
So-
one was that?
We received a photo in the Discord from Nick that just says, "This is not okay." Because one of Snake's face paints is just straight up blackface. And I looked at it, and I was like, I tried at first to find, like, I was like, surely this game, like, it was 2005. It wasn't like 1960. And I was like, maybe this game justifies this in some way, because I didn't even look at that one, to be honest with you. I kept going to because there's a camo mechanic where you pick a camo that gives you a better percentage.
I saw it. I flipped to the camos every single time I moved to a different like style terrain. Like every time I'm like, oh, I'm out of grass now. I go, oh, I'm in the grass now.
See, I'm shooting
switch
people.
to grass. Make sure I'm above at like 80% at all times.
See, but that one's not okay. I don't know why that one's in there. I don't have a justification
I
for
think
it.
it's meant to be paired with the black suit.
Yeah, I don't
that
actually
you're
think
going.
it's supposed to be like blackface, like.
But
scenario.
It's supposed to just be like just him
You're
head to
wearing
toe
a black
in night.
head, yeah.
It makes sense in context for what's going on, but taken as a whole by itself, you can be like, oh crap, yeah, this is messed up a little bit. Like if you're using it for like night and sneaking through, that's one thing. But if you're just like, I'm gonna wear this for the entire game, then what? Well,
Yeah,
God.
I just don't.
I'm sure there's people who've done that.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's people who've done that.
Those
but
assholes out there who did that. But I just don't know, man. I just feel weird about that particular thing.
I don't feel like there's any ill intent here
Yeah.
specifically, but it's
I can't put nothing past these guys, man. I mean, there's a button just to peek your boobs. I mean,
yeah, that's fair.
yeah, I just wanted to bring it up. It was just weird. So, you know, this is a good section in my mind. Like, there is some really cool stuff here, like where you're sneaking through, you know, by like landmines and those attack dogs and those like fences that are electrified that you have to run and jump through. And like, I actually really did enjoy this. This is probably my favorite part of the game so far. And I agree with Nick. Like, if you are taking guys down like by physical takedowns, it's actually I enjoy it.
That's like when I was like, oh, okay, this isn't the worst game I've ever played.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Michael. We're gonna get more of that, right?
More
Of this
CQC
kind of
detail?
stuff.
Yeah, there
Where
are.
we're stealthing through sections. We'll crawl into the jungle.
there's-
Okay.
That is mostly going to be our second section. Of
Okay.
Going through the jungle. And
That's
stuff.
good.
There's some more boss fights in this section, but I want to say that most of the boss fights from here on out you can use CQC on.
Okay.
That's good because I don't mind shooting when I'm ambushing somebody. Like if I'm like in the woods and like I got time to like there's a portion that's on like a bridge and so you can like shoot the wasp nest and make it fall. So basically, you know, all of this stealth operation stuff is we're crawling through woods and we're taking out guards and sneaking past guard dogs and stuff like that. All leads up to the Ocelot fight, which is once again we'll move in through the jungle. We'll come to a ravine, and the Ocelot unit shows up. Which, mind you, he calls the Ocelot unit by going meow.
That is wonderful.
No, it's not.
His
When
entire
he did it, I laughed out loud, and like
I think that was the intention.
Yeah. I feel like the game knows that Ocelot's a dork at this point, right? Like the game knows that. Maybe it does. Who knows? But Ocelot shows up. We have a fight across the ravine. Ocelot's on one side. On our side is us, and then behind us is all the Ocelot unit. So it's like it's the equivalent of school having everybody like form a circle and let the two guys like beat the crap out of each
He
other.
tells the unit, don't shoot.
Yeah,
I want it
what they
for
do.
myself.
What they do.
Yeah, then they ran. Yeah, because they're like every once in a while they're like, "Hey, let's just put a couple shots down range to help Ocelot." Basically,
you got this, Commander.
yeah, like they're cheering him along, like
It's
this
wonderful.
gun battle. But this is a weird fight, and like we talked about the gunplay not being good.
It's probably the weakest boss fight in the game because
Yeah.
it depends heavily on the first person aiming. But yeah, I think the second boss fight that happens like not even half an hour after this is much better than this
Yes.
boss
Oh,
fight.
agreed. This is, like I said, the aiming becomes a trouble. You're basically just waiting for them to pop out, pop them a couple of times. There's a couple of like bees nests that you can shoot to fall down and get them hit by some bees.
But you get one shot off of that, and one shot does no damage.
I was using the AK-47.
Okay, so I was
just
using the AK-47 too, but there's recoil on it, which is fine. But you can't aim the gun without, it's bad. It's bad.
It's bad aim.
If you hit the left control stick, you have it up, and you can like aim it
and
initially.
then you can get 3 shots off on it, and you can line the first one up, but the recoil is so strong that you won't hit all 3 of those shots.
No, this is not a good fight.
I used the tranquilizer throughout the whole thing.
How many times did you have to hit him?
Quite a bit, because you are not going for the... Because every boss meter has the same meter as you. They have the stamina meter and the life meter. So my goal to play non-lethal is just to get that stamina meter down. So in order to do that, I can knock Wasp on him, and that'll knock the stamina meter down a bit, and also lines up a shot. You can also shoot him relentlessly with... because that tranquilizer gun shoots relatively quickly. You have to reload after each shot, but you can just spam X whenever you have it aimed and just keep getting line up headshot after headshot with that.
Because it doesn't have any recoil, so
as much as using the AK.
It's almost here's the thing, Nick, and this might be something because I'm playing the same way you are. I'm using guns, we're dropping fools. I'm assuming that the game doesn't really want you to just be AK firing at everybody.
I get that. That's
but
fine.
I know I'm not justifying. I'm just trying to figure out why decisions were made.
The Mark 22, terrible. It is terrible for this. It does the exact same amount of damage as the M11, 1911, whatever that gun is. Your standard pistol that you use in this game. It does the same amount of damage, but it's not as fast. You eventually run out of ammo for that pistol if you play like I am, which is not knowing how to play this game up until this point. The AK. So eventually, what it took is I left the game, went to the menu. I was like, okay, up until this point, everything has been alleviated by me just not knowing something that is apparently core to this series, even though when you start this game, there's even a little survey question that says, hey man, have you ever played a Metal Gear game before?
Oh, that just determines what bonuses you get. I imagine you... I'll get there.
Seemingly none. Seemingly none.
I didn't know that because I imagine you hit... I've never played a Metal Gear before.
Yep, that's what I
thinking
meant.
that would help you. But really, I'll tell you what each one of them does. If you hit I like Metal Gear Solid 1, you get a bonus in stamina.
Wait, what?
Yeah, if you say I like Metal Gear Solid 1, you get a bonus in stamina. If you say I like Metal Gear Solid 2, Snake is wearing a mask for the first few cutscenes of the game that has blonde hair and looks like Raiden from Metal Gear Solid 2. And he until 15 minutes in, when he's like, this Snake needs to shed his skin, and just undoes the mask. If you selected I like Metal Gear Solid 3, which is what I did because I wanted you get additional camos at the beginning of the game for saying I like Metal Gear Solid 3. Because you played this before. Here's some additional camos. Let's have fun.
Somebody cover some air because I gotta step outside for a sec.
So instead of doing what you would anticipate, which is just force you to go through tutorials in this game, it just does nothing.
No, it talks to you for 45 minutes instead.
No, I'm just saying, you would think that if you click a button that says, I've never played one of these games before.
Listen,
Instead,
I'm not
it makes
saying...
it easier for people who have played these games before.
Don't just crawl around until you get spotted. Why don't you try punching somebody?
Are you using
I'm not arguing with you.
Are you using the radars and everything that come in the...
So initially I was not, and then whenever I dropped into the crawl space, which is the action button is Y, and you use the Y button 4 times in this game, which is to climb trees and in a very specific spot drop into the crawl space that Ava did.
See, I didn't drop into that crawl space.
So I didn't.
That's why I had to fight.
Maybe this is what kills me about this game is I'm just maybe I can do this, and then 1 out of 10 times, the maybe I can do this works. So it's just like, maybe I can shoot this electrical box on the side of this fence and I won't get shocked by it. And it works. And it's just like, maybe these dudes are going to charge this room and I can drop out of the floor like that chick did right in front of me. And then 5 times it doesn't work. But if you do it as soon as you leave the cutscene that you have to rewatch every time you die, you drop into the crawl space, you can pull out the radar, you can see where they are, you can take them out.
There's a cutscene there if you die?
There's the cutscene where she does the right up this dude's face and leave, and then drops into the thing, replays every time. Yeah!
I've never seen that.
See,
it replays every time you die. Guess what? I know every piece of dialogue in the Ocelot fight because he repeats it every time you die. If you eat any of the creatures, if you equip any of the weapons, if you do any of the curing and then save after it, that's not a persistent save. Yeah. Even if you do it after the checkpoint.
Yes,
that's not a persistent save. So you have to do that every time.
I never figured out how to get into the crawl space. You know how I got through that?
Did you just shoot everybody?
I freaking ran out there and ran through all the bullets and beat everybody down because I couldn't figure out how to get into the... See, people are going to say y'all just suck at this game. But
They're
here's
not
the thing.
wrong. I suck at this game.
I suck at this game, but the game does not make it easy for me not to suck at it. Okay? But we got to go back. Ocelot fight happens.
It is a... Metal Gear Solid is a series that rewards you for playing it over and over again because you know how to like mess with the AI. You know like how far they can see before you can like before you're spotted and can trigger events. It is a series that rewards you. I remember my first time playing Metal Gear Solid 2 and I on very easy mode was having a very rough time with that game. But I know that is no excuse. For first-time players, especially when you hit a note that says, "I never played this before."
And like, I'm playing on easy. Like, I'm not trying to be like a macho man. I'm playing on easy. Like, I'm not playing on normal. I'm not playing on very normal. I'm playing on easy.
Here's the thing: I can't justify. Like, I am enjoying this game. I want to say that I'm enjoying this game, but I also don't feel like there's a point in this game where I feel competent yet. And maybe there's a point coming, but. Like, doing this Ocelot fight.
That was me playing through hard mode a couple years ago. I was, like, slamming my head against the wall, figuring it out, and, like, again, that's no excuse having to play on a harder difficulty to get better at the game on easier difficulties, but...
No, listen, like, here's the thing. There's moments in this game where it works. Like, there's a moment in the Ocelot fight where I was like, I crawled up the tree, I hit the wasp nest that drew him out, and then I shot him in the head. And I was like,
don't mislead people because the wasp nest does not pull him out of cover.
Well, it doesn't pull him out of cover, but it stops him from moving.
It does stop him, but if he's in cover and you can't see him, he's just going to stand behind cover and it's just going to prolong him reloading.
He also has like a sexual experience when he realizes he has to reload doing shootouts. He's like, oh, reloading, oh. And you got to reload a semi-automatic also. Like, you got to put in a magazine.
It's different from a clip, Eric.
Yeah, okay, but you still got to reload it.
No, it's different from a clip for him. I know because he told me for 3 hours.
That never changes with Ocelot. He does that in every single time you encounter him. He's like, I love reloading in battle.
That's such a freaking weird fetish.
It's
a weird.
Like,
let me tell you about Metal Gear Solid, a game of weird fetishes. Because enjoyable. The series where everyone names themselves after their fetish.
Yeah, true. After you finally defeat Ocelot.
And after 3 hours, right, guys? 3 hours.
It took me a while, but it didn't take me 3 hours.
I'm not going to say anything.
You probably, if you say something that's going to piss him off.
He already has. It was the thing about playing this game before. I'm over the hill now.
Okay.
Nothing but positivity from here on out, right, Nick?
Yep.
Michael, what happens after we beat Ocelot?
We fall down the ravine.
What kicks us down the ravine? I don't remember.
The bees.
The bees, yeah, the bees.
Because Ocelot spins his revolvers to kill bees.
That's kind of cool.
He's like doing like poses, like cheerleader poses to like knock out them while spinning his guns to kill bees. It's amazing.
That's kind of cool. But the bees come up, you jump into the cave. Here's a fun fact about that cave.
You can't see anything in there.
Yep.
I had to turn the brightness all the way up.
So is that what I'm going to have to do because you don't have a flashlight, or is that
There's a
hidden in
torch.
some menu?
You will find a torch.
It's
pretty quickly.
Okay.
But the problem is, to get that torch, God help you. Because I know you got thermal goggles, but they don't work down there.
I couldn't find those
You
anyways.
got sonar junk, but that stuff didn't work for me. I had to turn the brightness up on my TV to the max and then proceed to stumble around in the dark to find the torch.
the thermal goggles didn't work for you down there?
No, you can't see anything.
Oh wait,
You see some
no.
animals.
When I did some exploring, I found the night vision goggles.
Well, I didn't find the night vision goggles, so I had to turn the brightness on my TV up. That's a problem.
Yeah, I feel like this game rewards you for exploring, but it punishes you for not exploring. It doesn't make it necessarily easier by finding optional stuff. It just makes it
harder for not finding that stuff.
harder for not finding that
And
stuff.
here's the thing, though. Like, I'm gonna go back.
There's one thing I will tell you about later on. Otherwise, it's going to make your life a nightmare if you don't find this particular
Go
item.
ahead.
But we'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Here's the thing. This goes back to Nick's statement. The game asks you, "Is this your first Metal Gear?" And you said yes. I think I said yes because I hadn't played 2 or no, I don't remember. I think I said yes because I played 4 and 5, and that I was like, that didn't count. Whatever. So I put it on there. The game doesn't teach you up to this point. Hey, some of this optional stuff is straight up almost necessary. Because, like, yeah, if I find the AK-47 or the shotgun, my life's a lot easier.
There's a shotgun in the game?
Yeah, there's a shotgun.
Yep.
Have we found it at this point?
I found it in the cave, I think.
Okay.
I think I found. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
I think it's in the cave, so I don't think, yeah.
The cave is like a tiny Metroidvania dungeon where you're gathering.
Not nearly as bad as you think it is.
Where you're gathering like tools to help you see further and to help you progress further into the cave. And it's the minute you get the torch, it alleviates a lot of those issues.
Basically, what I did is...
It's like a little puzzle.
I'll straight tell you what I did. I turned the brightness all the way up on my TV. I'm a problem solver, boys. Turned the brightness up. I found the torch. And then at that point, I was fine. At that point, I actually kind of liked the cave.
Okay.
Because it was like, I got the torch, I could see, and then I was just exploring the cave.
It was
that
fun
actually,
finding all the optional stuff there.
Yeah, and you say it's a Metrovania, but it is and it isn't. Like, it's more of like a equipment gathering phase. Like, there's no enemies down there. You're just, like, I shot a couple of snakes to get me some food to carry with me. Because also your stomach growls if you're hungry, and there are lots of enemies.
I don't know. I didn't test it because it
does.
not lethal. But like, I know that happens because it'll alert enemies and bring it to you. But I've been taking the snakes alive and then eating them alive. I wonder if that gives you more stamina versus eating them dead. I don't know why it would.
I shot him with an AK.
But the cool thing about taking snakes alive is if you capture a poison snake, you can throw it on a guard. It will poison the guard and kill them, but it does not count against your non-lethal playthrough. So you can still get a 0 on your kill count by throwing a snake at a guy.
Okay, like I found mouse traps. So you can set like mouse traps to catch mice. Like there's all this stuff in the game. Like the game has cool stuff in it. Like I found out that if I swing my torch at bats, I can kill the bats with my torch. Like that stuff is cool. The game doesn't do a great job of explaining to you like, hey man, this is an option. Like it, and I don't want a game to sit there for 45 minutes. The game already talks to you enough. I don't want it to sit there and explain to me every single thing, but it makes the process of doing it, like the button combinations to do it, is so complicated that a lot of times you don't feel the need to, you don't want to try to learn to do it. I don't know. It just
the game benefits from experimentation, but I see your point saying the controls are stuck in the early aughts that it makes experimenting more of a pain than it should be.
Exactly.
I understand, but
yeah. I mean, yeah. The cave, I actually liked the cave. I thought it was kind of a cool moment. Once I get the torch, I was fine. Because you are like venturing throughout the cave. It feels very kind of like it feels more like the survival aspect of the game. And then at the mouth of the cave is when we encounter the pain, which to me is the first real boss fight. Like, Ocelot was a pain in the butt. This is an actual boss fight that actually feels fun.
Okay.
The pain is the bee man.
The bee man.
He's a ton of bees. Here's something that will make your life a lot easier. If you have found in the cave, there's some of this. There's bug repellent.
I think I missed that. I found incendiary grenades, and that helped me out.
No, see, I found bug repellent. If you take the bug repellent as an item, the bees kind of leave you alone, and you can just waste this fool. Because at first I tried to fight him, and you can fight him by he's on a rock in the middle, and you've got 2 rocks on each side. You can just swim around them, and don't go into the water in this game because daggum, the camera goes crazy. But you can kind of like hide behind the rock in the water and then pop up and shoot them. Like, it's actually a pretty fun little boss fight. But if you take that bug repellent, those bees do not bother you. So you can stand like right in front of them and just waste them because the bees are just not even getting near you.
How I beat him is I had incendiary grenades, and I threw the incendiary grenades on the platform, and that knocked the bees off of him because he was on fire, and then that just left him completely open for the tranquilizer gun. So this is the point in the game. There's not a lot of experimentation you can do with the Ocelot fight from what I'm seeing, but a lot of the boss fights from here on out, it rewards you for experimenting with what you got, and there are multiple ways that you can come out on top in these boss fights. There's not just one strategy to overcome them.
I used flashbangs to knock the bugs off of them. So that made sense to me. He's got these bugs on him that if I shoot him, it doesn't do any damage. Throw a flashbang, all the bugs go run away, and I shoot him while he's, And he's a big enough target that the aiming thing isn't as big of a deal. Because you can hold down the AK on him.
He's not jumping around from platforms. Yeah, he's standing on one platform.
He's standing there. So
using bees to summon a Tommy gun.
Yeah.
He's like, Tommy gun! And a bunch of bees just emerge on his hand, and then all of a sudden he has a Tommy gun.
It's a pretty cool fight. I actually like this fight. And he's got like heat seeker bees he sends out at one point.
And just like true anime, he yells his attacks.
Yeah,
heat seeker bees.
Well, it's like a boss fight in a video game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you learn his patterns and you learn how to beat him. And this is actually a fun fight. Like, I actually like this boss fight. It's a lot better than that Ocelot fight. Boy, this is the first, and you're kind of made to believe this is the first real boss fight because Ocelot's not a part of that unit. Like, the pain is. And so, like, I actually like this fight. When you beat him, he blows up.
Ocelot's a private contractor working for the bad guys, essentially.
Yeah, and they have no respect for Ocelot either. They treat him like a punk, too. So when you actually beat the pain, he blows up. And that is our stopping point right here.
At this point, I made a few codec calls just to, I spent 10 or 15 minutes just listening to codec calls at this point just to see what everybody had to say in this cave, and I wrote down some of the important stuff. Yeah. You call Signet the military expert, and he lays out that the pain, the end, the fear, the sorrow, the joy, and the fury, all of the the Cobra unit of this game are all named after emotions of going into battle. And it's like these emotions are what they carry going in. So pain is always in pain. That's why he has bees around him, and you'll see a bunch of the quirks of the other Cobra units as you encounter them. This is the important bit I was talking about. Eva tells you where to find the sniper rifle. Because that's another thing. You can call these people, and if you're nearby something, it's like, hey, I believe there's a weapon around that area you can use too. So Eva tells you that in the aqueduct, when you exit the cave, there is the sniper rifle, and you need that sniper rifle for a boss fight coming up. So just letting you know. You're writing that down. Everybody write this down. In the aqueduct, when you leave the cave, there's a sniper rifle.
When you leave cave,
look for sniper. Or you can probably just call Eva at this point, and she'll tell you the exact instructions.
Well, I might have, and she might have said something, but I ain't gonna lie. I called everybody here too, just to be like, what's people say.
Also, when you kill the pain, even if you're non-lethal, he explodes.
So is that non-lethal?
Yeah, that was non-lethal for me. He explodes, and if you call the major, he'll tell you why they explode.
Why do they explode?
They're basically the Suicide Squad, and when they're taken prisoner, they commit suicide by exploding.
But they actively do that. I mean, you didn't take him prison.
It's
I didn't take him prisoner.
No.
He got filled with bolts.
whenever like his vitals show that he's been knocked unconscious or is killed, that the will explode. It like tracks his vitals. Nanomachines.
Oh God. Goddamn. Okay. Fine. Nanomachine.
And so yeah, that explains why they die if you were playing on non-lethal.
Okay. Fine. That makes sense, I guess.
There's for every question you have, there's an in-lore reason for it.
But you have to call somebody.
You have to call somebody, or look it up on that, or it might be answered in a future game.
Even
15 years.
See, I just
basically.
I talked to Eva because she's the one you gotta talk to save, and she just wants to talk about movies. She's like, "Hey, have you ever seen that Godzilla?" Yeah, paramedic.
There's a bit
you ever
where
seen Godzilla?
About...
Yeah, I saw Godzilla. You ever see 007?
The 007 conversation is hilarious because Major Zero just loses his mind and is just like, "We need to name you 00 Snake. We can make you a snake that fits inside an attaché case." And that was hilarious. That's comedy gold for me. Thinking of a snake-shaped gun that fits inside a briefcase on this mission. I'm surprised that's not an item you find.
I'm just at the point at this point where it's just like, I'm okay with those conversations, but like, okay, it goes back to placement. So like, you call paramedic to do a save, right? And that means that you're done for the day. Theoretically, I'm done for the day. I am trying to save.
You're never
I can
done.
turn my Xbox off and go to bed or go do something else. Instead, she's like, "Hey, you want to talk about a movie first?" And it's like, no.
I'm like, yes, I do want to talk about the movie.
Like,
Tell me
there
what
was
you
a
got,
point in which there's a point which I was playing this game and I was like, wife's going to bed, I'm going to bed too. And I tried to save the game. And then there was a 15-minute conversation with paramedic about freaking movies. And my wife's like, "Are you coming or not?" I'm like, once this woman shuts up about Godzilla, I'll be in there. Like, it's just placement at that point. Like, I like this game because this game is very stylish. I like the style of this game. I enjoy playing this game. I'm enjoying this game.
The music's
great. Very good. There's moments like I like the traversal of like the swamps. Like, you're digging. You feel like you're fighting the elements. Like, you feel like as you're trudging through the lakes and through the mud, like, you feel like, hey, I'm really on this adventure and trying to do this super difficult mission.
It's like,
that's good.
Yeah.
But it's just sometimes like the game gets up its own ass so much it makes this a game. Just let me save the game. I just want, if I'm trying to save a game, I'm trying to probably turn the game off. Like, it's just stuff like that. I don't know, man. Yeah.
Are we ready for final thoughts on our...
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I know what Nick is. Nick's just sitting there. Like, he's calm now, but Nick, what's your final thoughts? Okay, better way of doing this. Let me start. I'll show you what I'm doing. I am looking forward to continuing to play this game. I feel like there is going to be a moment in which I learn the game enough that I will no longer be struggling with having to understand how to play the game, that I can just sit back and enjoy playing it. Like, when I hear what Michael was talking about, like these kind of emergent things you can do to beat enemies and stuff like that, I want to get to that point. But my fear is that the answer to when I'll get to that point will be the second playthrough or the third playthrough. Like, I don't want to play a game 3 times to feel like I'm competent at it.
That's a fair point, yeah.
But I do enjoy this game. Those moments I think are pretty cool. Like, I think the Cobra unit looks pretty cool. I thought the fight with the pain was kind of cool. I thought the moment when the game lets you just go out into the world and stealth, I enjoyed. Like I didn't shoot the box to turn the fence off. I was running and diving through the holes and like trying to navigate past the dogs so they don't see you. Or there's the logs that are there that you can like dive over the ropes, and like that feels cool. I felt like a cool special agent in the jungle trying to walk my way through the jungle. I want more of that, and you say that more of that is coming, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
I want less of like stuff like the Ocelot fight.
This second portion here, I'll get to where we're playing to next time, is probably our longest chunk. I know a way to condense it if we need to, but this is probably I've tried to keep it even, but with how some boss fights and some set pieces line up, it's...
This is going to be also... Where is our stopping point for this next part?
I had our stopping point listed at a boss fight called the Fury, which is 3 boss fights from now.
Okay.
If we need to stop it at 2, the fight with a boss called the End, we can do that there, because I remember my first time going through the End was a very long ordeal.
I remember. I actually kind of know how the end fight goes.
There is a way that if you guys are struggling, I know a way to beat him instantaneously.
Oh,
well, let's do.
Yeah. So if you're struggling through, there are ways to deal with that second boss fight in this current state in a really fun way.
This is what we're gonna do. Crowd participation. If you are playing along, because I know some people who are actually going to be, that I've already talked to who are playing along with us, and you have trouble with the end, you can send an email to stateofsave@gmail.com, and I will get Michael to email you back how to beat the end instantaneously.
It's probably just a quick Google search. That's probably the top thing you see on there.
Shh. Michael, we're trying to get crowd participation.
The only way you can learn our hot tricks is to call the Sega hotline. I mean, send us an email.
Hot tricks at 1-800. Michael, in his slow voice, will tell you how to beat the end instantaneous. No, but we'll get that information out there. It's out there. We will use the Discord. That I would just go in the Discord and be like, Michael, tell me how to beat the end, because I'm gonna try to beat him without any help. But if I need help, I'll just put him on there. Like I said,
he might beat the boss fight to make me break my non-lethal streak. We'll see how that goes. But I want to try to beat this whole game non-lethal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Nick. What's your thoughts, Nick?
Fuck this game.
Nick, are you gonna hang in there with us?
I'm not gonna be the first person to punk out on a game and not beat it. So yes, but
okay. I'm gonna make an executive host decision here. If you get through it with us, to the best of your abilities, barring unforeseen circumstances. If you get through it with us, I partially guarantee, Michael, this is my hosted thing. I will allow you to pick our very next game.
See, I don't know what could be the most unbearable game. That's where my head's gonna go.
No,
what's gonna be the worst game for you guys to play?
I'll end up loving it and going, "Oh, this is a masterpiece, work of art."
Yeah, that's what everybody did with this one too. I hear it from everybody.
Oh my lord, boy, Michael, you excited? This is not how I thought this was gonna go.
I feel like I'm being punished.
No, you're not being punished.
Personal.
You know my thoughts on this game. I make that very clear. I wear this game on my sleeve. I absolutely adore Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. I hold them as some of my favorite games of all time. This is up there for me. It's not my favorite Metal Gear Solid. 2 is probably my favorite Metal Gear Solid, but I adore this game.
Here's the thing.
And playing through it again, learning, tackling challenges in new ways, trying to play through non-lethal, doing something I've never done before. This is making me love the game even more.
Here's the thing. This is the way this show goes sometimes. We had Alan Wake first, and we all loved Alan Wake, and we were all together on that kumbaya. Then we had Observation, in which I was the man.
The cracks were starting to show.
Yeah, the cracks started. Where I was like, Eric was not enjoying Observation. This is the one where, like I said, the rubber hits the road, boys and girls. It's been a ride. I was going to do a recommendation section where we recommend something.
We're already almost at 2 hours.
We're already at 2 hours. We'll put that for another
My recommendation,
time.
Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, for the PS2, the PS3, and the Xbox 360. Go nuts. And the Nintendo 3DS. So imagine playing that version, Nick. Playing it on a tiny handheld.
At least I can lay in bed.
Okay. Guys, it's been a ride. Thank you guys for listening to State of the Save. Please send your emails. If you want to tell Nick how wrong he is about Metal Gear. If you want to tell Michael how wrong he is about Metal Gear. If you want to just keep me out of it.
I'm wrong about a lot of things, so I will take that.
No, but state of save @gmail.com is our email address. We started a Twitter account. We're still trying to build it. State of the Save at Twitter. Twitter at State of the Save, I guess is what it is.
Should we link that in the description as well?
Yes, we will. I don't understand the social medias. I don't handle the social medias. So yeah, thank you guys for coming on this ride. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back in 2 more weeks with part 2 of Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. We'll be playing up through the Fury. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Stay safe.